Hey everyone, it's Jennifer from stampwithjennifer.blogspot.com, and today I want to give you a quick 2-minute tip on watercoloring with the Aqua Painter. So today I'm going to use the Festive Fireplace stamp set. It also has a set of matching framelits called Festive Fireside, which is how I cut out all these little pieces here. And then I'm going to use the Archival Black ink. So let me tell you about this. The watercoloring on this card is on the pieces here, the log and fire, the stockings, and the little pine cones right there. And I'll just show you this card here. This card is from the stamp set is from our holiday catalog for 2015-2016. It's good until January 4th. So if you're watching this video after then, the stamps may or may not be available. So check it out now. Okay, so what I want to tell you is we have 3 different kinds of black ink. We have Memento, Staz On, and Basic Black Archival. Staz On is normally what you think of for your watercolor ink. It's permanent, it's a solvent pad, it stamps on plastic, metal, glass, paper, and so on. And it's a great watercolor ink. However, when you use Staz On with photopolymer stamps, they don't mix. When you ink it up and stamp it on your paper, it can stick to the paper can stick to this, it can rip apart. They are just not a good match. So if you need to watercolor and you don't want your ink to bleed, you need to use our Archival Black ink with your photopolymer stamp sets, the ones that are totally clear. Okay? So, if you were using a red rubber stamp, you could go ahead and use Staz On if you wanted. So both of these are great for watercoloring, but depends on what kind of stamp you're using. Just to get any confusion out of the way, we also have Memento Black, which is a great black ink, but it's not waterproof. So you can use it when you're just stamping in black with any kind of stamp and you're not going to watercolor. So that's Memento Black. Okay, so we're using Archival because of the photopolymer stamp. Now, Stampin' Up's Archival Black ink pad, this is new now in September 2015 when I'm making this video. And to make the formula work, Stampin' Up had to make this pad in the old linen hard top stamp. So what that means for us is we can press really hard when we ink it. You're not going to sink down and get ink everywhere or damage your stamp pad. You can twist and tap. So remember that when you're using your Archival Black or Archival Basic Gray stamp pad. You actually want to press really hard. And then I just grabbed some scraps of Whisper White here, and I'm going to use this one. And I am showing you the quick way to use your Aqua Painter today. There we go, beautiful. Not the artistic, I'm going to layer 50 colors version of watercoloring. Okay, so I have 3 ink pads, Cherry Cobbler, Crushed Curry, and Early Espresso for coloring with. And I have my Aqua Painter. So when you get them, you get 2 for like $17. The large tip and the small tip. And the one you use just depends on what you are coloring. For a lot of images, it doesn't really matter which one you use, but I will go ahead and use the small one today. So you unscrew it, fill it full of water, regular tap water. Then you give the barrel a gentle squeeze, and you can actually see the water flowing through the barrel to the brush. And I always use my hand to catch that water so it doesn't get on my projects. And then I just use a piece of paper towel to dry it off a little bit. So if your brush is too wet, dry it off some. If it's too dry, squeeze. And that's how you get your water. Then take your stamp pad and press the bottom, not the top. The top is really stiff. Press the bottom. And then when you open it, you'll have ink in the lid, and that's what you paint with. So I'm going to pick up some ink, and I want to dilute it. I don't want it super dark, so I'm going to just rub it over here on the side and dilute it. You can always test it on your scratch paper to see if it's too dark or too light, and then just paint. So super quick. This is how I do it. when you're using Whisper White cardstock, now I'm going to clean it off. You don't want to go over and over and over because the cardstock will break down. So don't do that. Just give it one quick layer. Cherry Cobbler's really dark, so again, I'm just using the very edge here so that I don't get crazy dark. But of course, if you wanted that, you know, a darker color, then you would just do that. And again, you can always test it on your scratch paper first if you're not sure. Okay, so again, you guys can see I'm not super artistic. I pretty much look at what people do on Pinterest and Stampin' Connection, and then I try to imitate it. If I went over that too many times right now, this white paper would break down. So that's why I'm just giving it a quick once over. You can use watercolor paper if you want to be able to really use watercoloring skills and layer and add shadows and all that. I like, and my customers seem to like when I show them this quick beginner version of watercoloring. So make sure you clean your brush off between every color on a paper towel or a rag or whatever you have. Make sure you squeeze the lid and paint from the lid, not the pad. And then you can get some really pretty coloring, quick and easy. You don't have to stay in the lines. Watercoloring with the Aqua Painter is my favorite way of coloring because it's so quick and simple. So here's the card again, and I hope you'll get out your Aqua Painters and give it a try. Hope to see you again at stampwithjennifer.blogspot.com.